The YouTube stream. Yeah, hello YouTube. This is my C++ Minecraft clone. Now, there is very important thing I have to mention at the start. I may have issues with the internet access. That's why I didn't have a stream yesterday. There was no internet. But today I finally have internet, but OBS says they're dropped frames because of the network. So I'm not 100% sure this stream will be okay. Even if it's not, I'm doing a recording in my OBS software. I'm doing a recording, so even if the stream is bad, there'll be a recording afterwards. So everything should be pretty fine. Yo, what's up? Yeah, you just caught the stream at the beginning. That was nice timing. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so this is the C++ Minecraft clone. This is it. And the last stream we tried to make the world endless. And as of now, it's definitely not endless. We tried many things. Actually, this is not the latest version. We can go to the latest commit. Here. Now let's run it. This is the latest commit where it looks like it's endless. We've set the render distance to be very small. It looks like to be endless, but it's not actually endless. It has a limit. It has a limit. I've just made all the chunks invisible and I make the one we're underneath visible. That's what I did. And if I increase the world distance to be 20 by 20 and leave the visible chunks to be 1, it will look like it's infinite up to a point. So this will not satisfy as a solution. It was the simplest thing we could do. Obviously, we need a different approach, and off stream I was thinking about it. And I came up with an idea, well, at least a rough idea, and that was to, no matter how big the render distance is, even if it's like this super small, or if it's like 20 by 20, even if it's super big render distance, to at all times when we, because we saw we need to run the code when we transition between chunks. That's when the code needs to run. And my idea is to make it so when we like move between borders, to generate only, to focus, to prioritize the chunks around me. And then to go to the next level, the chunks after that, and then the chunks after that, to have a priority system. I think this way everything will be simplified. And I think this would be the right approach. And another thing I've thought while I was off stream, another idea I had is to separate the generating of the blocks from mesh generation. Because generating blocks is a lot faster than the mesh generation. I could first generate all the needed blocks and then generate the meshes. And before we actually start this work on the endless terrain, we have about 3 hours of time to implement this. I think we'll be able to make significant progress. Before we actually start working on this, I want to give you guys an update on what happened with the suspension on Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it. So I showed you guys that I was automatically suspended 5 days ago. I got an email that I was automatically suspended, and what I uploaded here was clips of progress of my game. That's it. I got the automatic suspension, and here it said I could appeal it. Somewhere here it said I could appeal it, and I did that. And this is the update for you guys. I got an email and I got super happy. Your account has been restored. we have reviewed your appeal request for my account, and they have determined there was no violation and has restored your account to full functionality. And that was good news, right? That was good news, but I decided to make a post about it, like, and it wasn't a special post, it was this. I just mentioned that 5 days ago my account was automatically suspended and that I appealed it, and today that I finally got my account back. The moment I did this post, I got this. Your account has been locked. The moment I made a post ranting here that, like, it's not even a rant. The moment I made this post celebrating my account is back, I got this. Your account has been locked. Yeah, we found some unusual activity. I was just making a post and they're like, there's unusual activity. To make sure X is safe for everyone, we need to confirm your identity. And here I just had to verify my email address. And sure, there's nothing wrong with that. I verified my email after making the post, but I got this notification. We've added a temporary label to your account which may impact its reach. And the label is about inauthentic behaviors. So they changed the suspension, this suspension for inauthentic accounts. They moved it to just a label, to just this temporary label, which just destroys my account here. To watching, yeah, nice. And yeah, that's the update on here. And I have zero motivation to post here. Zero motivation after all of this suspension, these temporary labels. Like, very awful place to, if you're a creator trying to post content about your progress. Like, it was an awful experience. Like, I started posting here, when was it? I started posting here on 10th of May. And after a few days, I got a suspension. Then they removed the suspension and gave me a label that my account, like, and I assume maybe it's because, like, they think this is spam. Here posting on the same day, where was it? Here I posted once a day, but before that I posted a few times a day. And maybe they thought this is a spam. I posted 2 times on May 15. And maybe they thought that was spam. And here 2 times on May 14. Maybe they thought that was spam. And sure, they gave my account back, but now I have this annoying label that has its downsides of limited reach, temporary restricted, excluded from trends, replies, recommended notifications, search results. Like, this is huge for when you're starting out. I'm starting out here with 0 followers, and this is a huge setback, this label. And I was like, so I have to pay for the blue check mark in order to post like everybody else. Because there are other creators posting here, everybody posts their progress on what they're doing, and they have a huge reach here. Especially there was one guy posting his Minecraft clone. I also post my Minecraft clone. There was somebody else posting Minecraft clone. He got, like, here instead of 7 views, he got like 100,000 views just posting a clip. And yeah, that's my rant about this. That's very disappointing. That's very disappointing, but let's move on. At least YouTube for now is a comfortable place to post. Hopefully YouTube doesn't start automatically silencing creators. So I got this place to post in. So let's make it endless. Yo, what's up, Plus Channel 2? What's up? Plus channel, can you tell me if the stream is good, if everything is alright? Because my network yesterday was very bad. I had no internet yesterday and they had to come from the ISP to fix it. Hopefully now the internet is fine. The particles after breaking the block. Live stream seems good, I guess. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, okay. So this is the goal for this stream in the next 3 hours. It's to make this endless. Right now it's not actually endless, it stops here. And that's what I'll work on. That will be it for this stream. That's the goal. Let's bring back Excalibur, where we can do some planning. Here this was from the previous stream. This was for the previous stream. So my new idea after thinking about it offline, where is the pencil? Yeah, this is it. If we are here, and let's say like this is our render distance, no matter that our render distance is this big, to first, when we move outside of this chunk to the neighboring one, let's say, when we move past here, to not prioritize this whole thing, but to prioritize a smaller region around me. And after this generates the small region around me, and I'm still here, I haven't moved, then to generate the other region around me until we fill up the render distance we should be getting. That's my idea. Inventory creative, that would be actually very helpful because I constantly need to, like in my Java Minecraft clone, the only way I give myself items without a creative inventory is here I have a function give cheat items, and here I add to the inventory all kinds of items, and I have to press the period key in order to give myself these items. And if I need new items, I need to stop the game and restart it and change here. So creative mode inventory will be of extreme use. It will be very valuable. 32 bits versus 64 bits is pretty large difference to make it endless, or it is very big. So version is 32 or 64 version. Yeah, this is my idea. And the other idea was to separate block generation from generating the mesh. Because each subchunk here has an array of blocks. I fill up this array of blocks with this function. Yeah, this function. It goes over all the blocks and using the Perlin noise fills up this array. But just filling this array of block IDs will not render anything. I need to generate a mesh and a model as well. Or just a mesh. And generating a mesh takes a lot more time than generating blocks. So I'll separate the two. That's my idea. And for now, let's leave everything in the main thread. And if everything looks fine, we'll transition it to a separate thread, the terrain generation. We'll keep it simple. Yo, what's up? How's your day going, guys? Now, Let's think about it. So currently, when I move outside of this chunk, it unloads this one and loads this one. Just the mesh. Here is just the mesh, but it's not changing the blocks. Do you also know Python? Well, it's easy to transition from C++ to Python since Python is higher level and C++ is lower level. And most of the concepts of programming are the same, with conditionals, while loops, etc. So I know just the basics of Python. How are you? I'm ready to make significant progress today. I'm really excited to actually have an endless world. And I feel like we're really close to actually doing it. I don't know how many attempts I've made on this, but I feel like this one will be a good attempt. And I think we'll be able to make significant progress. I believe that. But what the reality will be, we'll see. We'll see about that. So, how should I implement this idea? How should I implement this idea? Let me think about it. What's the problem? I want to make the terrain endless. Let's even start up the original Minecraft. I want to make it endless. Just unload the chunk if it isn't in rage. Yeah, but there's more to it since there's chunks that unload and there are chunks that load at the same time. And for the chunks that load, there needs to be a buffer around them of a few more chunks that are invisible, so that when you generate the mesh, it generates the proper mesh. To generate a mesh for a chunk, you need the neighboring chunks. How do you plan to implement collisions in Raylib? The same way I did it in my clone, and if Raylib offers something extra, something special, I'll use it. But by default, I'll just repeat my collision in the Java clone, which is just axis aligned bounding box. It was something like that called. It's a very simple collision detection and resolution algorithm because it assumes the collision boxes will not rotate. It assumes they will not rotate, which simplifies the calculations. And that's why here in Minecraft, where you have the thing for the books, where is it? Forgot what the item was called. Yeah, this item. If you look at the block hover, look at how they don't rotate it, the block hover. Look at how the block hover is aligned to the world X and Y and Z position. They are aligned, they are not rotated. This is because they also use the same simple collision resolution and detection algorithm, the axis aligned one. That's why they don't have rotations. If they had rotations, they would rotate this block hover, they would rotate it to match the wood at the top. That's how I think, that's why I think they're using the simple collision algorithm. Start in the middle, then it gets bigger, and if you're going out of the range, like left, and it isn't 16 chunks like when unload, you can try. It's better than nothing. Yeah, my idea for the endless terrain is to make it gradual. to prioritize the chunks around me. So when you move, this is the player, and let's give out some room here. And let's say this is the goal, this big render distance. And when you move, my goal is, instead of moving this big render distance to follow the player, my idea is to start with a small one, to start with a very small one. And when that is ready and we are still inside and we haven't moved here, to go to this one. And here you can notice how doing these checks, these gradual checks, here with a big render distance, nothing is changing in these steps. We are gradually increasing this, nothing is changing. And here now there is a change. These ones get added. These are the new ones, but this happens gradually. And my idea is, if you go really fast, here if you like almost as if you teleport here, like you go really fast, to prioritize gradually to build up the new terrain. And if you go fast again, if you go fast before everything has finished, this stops here and doesn't continue, and here builds out again gradually. That's my idea. And here, when you're moving slow, it can reuse most of the existing chunks. That's my idea. This gradual increase in the what's rendering. That's my idea. What's up? Yo, hello. We got a lot of people from previous streams. I'm happy that people are coming back from previous streams. We're missing Maskeli. Maskeli is missing, and there were a few other peoples that are regulars to the stream. Oh, Maskeli, you're here. You're here. Yeah. I'm not missing. Yeah, I saw you. How aliens designed that UFO farm things? I like your patience with the project. Well, it has already been more than a year, so there's plenty of patience to give around. Let me think about it. What if we move here really fast? And will it manage to keep up with the smallest render distance? Let's go in spectator mode, game mode, spectator, and let's hold control to go faster. And I'm interested to see if it will keep up with the rendering. Yeah, with the smallest render distance it's keeping up, but if we increase it, I think this is the easiest way to see what Minecraft does, is if we go to the maximum. What if we go to the maximum? Look at how temporarily, look at how it gradually fills up everything, just like what I said. It gradually fills up everything. And it's like from the center outward. That's what we're going to do. And now, let's see what will happen if it cannot keep up. I should be flying faster than this. I want to see what will happen if Minecraft cannot keep up. I want to see what Minecraft will prioritize when it cannot keep up. But I don't know how to increase my speed. Oh, okay. The scroll wheel increased it. There was a viewer that mentioned the scroll wheel changes it, the speed. And before it didn't work, now it's actually working, the scroll wheel, for spectator mode. Yeah, look at how Minecraft is prioritizing just around me. And when we go faster, look at how it generates only what's around me and ignores the huge render distance. This is what our goal is. And if we look behind, it's not prioritizing unloading that much. The unloading is not that fast. I'm just looking at what Minecraft does at the maximum, at the extremes, and this might give us additional hints before we start actually coding. This might give us hints. What if we teleport? Teleport S. How can we teleport? Teleport Minecraft command. Teleport destination. Okay, let's do teleport. How do you write a destination? I need examples. Teleport the executing player to X100 and Z100, but 3 blocks above the current. Oh, I see. So 100, 100, 100. Yeah, and let's see how the world generates when we teleport. Okay, let's do 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh, I'm in a cave. Okay, let's do 19,000, 19,000, 19,000. Okay, where is the terrain? Oh, it's below us. Yeah, look at it, how it generates gradually. Yeah, I don't think we'll get enough hints. Yeah, thank you for this. What did I miss? Yeah, mouse wheel. Mouse wheel, scroll with the mouse up. How is it keeping up low? It doesn't load because you have big render this. Yeah, I have 64. Could you make the chunks building faster than Minecraft? I don't need to. I'm okay with making it like Minecraft. Bro, the way you're drawing chunks on paint reminds me how aliens draw on cornfields below. Yeah, okay. We need to implement our first attempt. Our first attempt at this. And all of this needs to gradually to happen. Let me think about it. And the code I'm running is when we cross borders. Or should I make it There's one problem because from the separate thread, how we initially generate the terrain. Should I remove the initial terrain generation so that I start completely from scratch on the terrain generation? Because the terrain generation just goes over the player position, generates all the subchunk blocks, and then goes over and generates all the meshes, and upon draw we generate the model as well. Will this initial terrain generation hinder our progress? Will it be easier to start over? That's what I'm wondering. Or should we just write the code? Where was it? I forgot where I wrote the code. Somewhere in the main function for sure. Update. No, this is the raycast. This is when we destroy a block. Yeah, here. This is when we cross a chunk. When we actually cross a subchunk. So it runs even if we go up and down. That's what I'm wondering. If I should make the changes we're about to do here when we transition. So should I keep it as it is now and change the code here upon the transition? Or should I go back even before this with the initial terrain generation where we generate this to not keep them separated? Because keeping these two separated, I feel like it will complex things. And I'll have to think about it on what approach I should take. There's 3 people chat, including me. I think rest of Mojang's lawyers waiting you to release clone. Yes, it's better. They're gonna spawn camp. Bros running Visual Studio, IntelliJ Brave, and Minecraft at the same time. Changing is longer than building from scratch, I mean. Yeah. Well, let me think about it. It's important we think about it for a minute, because just going and blindly adding code just hinders progress. Like, speaking from experience, when I've started coding stuff and the next day I'm like, who wrote that? And yeah, it was me. Let me think about it. So what is our goal? Our goal is to yeah, we said it would be helpful if it's gradual, and it should be like that because Minecraft does it like that as well when it cannot keep up. We saw it in the game, how if the player is very fast, it prioritizes the chunks that are closest to you. It prioritizes that. But in our case, we've simplified it in a way where it's just one chunk, the simplest case. There is no need to prioritize. There's no priority here. So we don't even need to bother with the priority thing. That will be for later on when we try to increase the render distance. So we need something else. Yeah, we need something else. Let me think about it. We need something else. The thing I'm worrying the most about is unloading chunks. And the other thing I'm worrying about is always being sure I have the neighbors as well. Because to render this mesh, I need the neighboring chunks, and I have them. I have generated the blocks for the neighbors of this chunk. Because you need to know the neighbors so that you know how to kill every block. because here, this block, we need to render his face here for this block. And for us to know we should render this face, for us to know that, we need to communicate with the neighboring chunk. That's the thing I'm worrying about, managing that as well. But we can, no matter that, we can still keep it simple and not worry about that. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing is that we have missing faces. And that's not a huge issue. That's not an issue. So we can even ignore that. Just to keep it simple and to make significant progress. We can always come back and improve things. We can keep it simple. And there was something else as well in Minecraft. You can notice how if we go up or down, I need to lower this render distance so that we can actually use Minecraft and demonstrate stuff and to look for hints, but it froze. Because the render distance, I left it at 64. I should have changed it to a lower one before I left it, because now it's struggling. How much RAM do you have? 64 gigabytes, but that was before the increase in price. That was years ago. What PC you have? In the GPU, I think, is NVIDIA 360 Ti. Wouldn't generate chunks in like diamond shape instead of a circle be faster? No, it needs to be like a circle around me, because player can go in a diagonal. And if there's no chunk generated in the diagonal, like that's a bummer. Is this the CPP one? Yeah, this is the C++ one. I think that's how Minecraft does it, this actually. I have no idea how Minecraft does it. Can't you just code that if chunk is more than 20 chunks world limit loud more? We'll see about that. I'm still new to C++, so I want to ask, how do I read JSON? I just used the library. You can read the text. JSON is a text file. You can read it normally, but to parse it, you need a library. And I use the most popular one. I just search for JSON C++. I got this, and I just added it. Yeah. And for me, it's easy to add it since I use CMake. And here, if you see the repository of a library, if the repository has this CMake lists txt file, it means it's extremely easy to include it in the CMake. Because here, I just clone the repository in my folder here. I have it, the JSON one. And in my CMake, I just have to... here to add it as a subdirectory. Then I needed to include the include folder. Most libraries have a folder called include, or they just call it public, like in Tracy. You need to include it so that you can use the header files in your CPP. And that's about it. And then to link the library. Here is the JSON project. And that was it. It was extremely easy, and the cool part is I can go inside the source code, since I'm actually CMake actually compiles and builds everything. I can, and the coolest part is I can do this for Raylib as well. And I think I've made changes to the Raylib source code. I'm not sure about that, but it's extremely cool here. This environment with Raylib, C++, with CMake. And using CMake is really advantageous to you, because I can easily port this project to Linux. Easily. Because before I followed the Chernow's tutorials. And he used something else to build the project. He used... I forgot what he used. It was something else, and that thing was only for Windows. And I wanted to switch to Linux, and it was very annoying. But with CMake, It's extremely cool and easy. Look at how simple my CMake is. Extremely simple. This is here above boilerplate. Every project has something like this. Like extremely easy to use CMake if you don't complicate it. Why are you using Forge? The mods I wanted to use Forge. I think I used Optifine and Optifine required Forge. It was something like that. I don't know. I didn't spend much time on that. Why are you using Forge? Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Fabric is trying to cope. Bro, what's the other way around? Okay, goated mods, etc. Neoforge, okay. Yeah. Let's actually call this and let's close the Minecraft since it's struggling. Where's the project? Here? Yeah. So we will focus just on the X and Z axis. We'll ignore the Y because right now I'm looking for if I move in a different subchunk, and I'll ignore that. I'll ignore that, and I can do that by resetting the Y coordinate. That would be easy to ignore. Here, last subchunk. Here, when I get the last subchunk, I'll just set its Y coordinate to 0 always, so that we are ignoring it. And we called it at one more time. Here. Let me think about it. When we reset it here, I need to last subchunk. I need to reset the Y again. But when we compare it as well, here, we can actually bring it here. This. Let's also ignore the Y. And here to compare it with this. This way, the code will ignore the Y axis. Will not update the world. The world will not be endless on the Y axis. That's what we did. The updates will happen only on the X and Z axis. This is just to simplify it. That's just to simplify it. Yeah, what's up with chat? He just said 64, yeah. Like he's gonna break into Netzel's house and steal the RAM. He's got RAM, get him. I learned also Python. I want also to make my clone in my... But hasn't things like VS Code, but it also more clean. Could you help me? The only thing you need to worry about is to not rush it. Go at your own pace. Know that this is a marathon. You don't need to rush it. You'll find an answer to all of your questions, and finding the answers on your own is a lot more satisfying. Because right now, if you ask an AI when you have a problem for a solution and it gives you a solution and it actually works, that's the most annoying thing ever, because it's not satisfying. It's not satisfying. Yo, your clone looks sick. Yeah, thank you, man. AI slop. You are slop. AI slop is translated to you are slop. That's funny. Now let's actually make this endless. We simplified everything. It should be, in theory, easy to do this. Let's limit here. Here I made it so there were invisible chunks and visible ones. This is like the render distance and the simulated distance. let's simplify it and remove the simulated distance. Because here in Minecraft, okay, I closed the Minecraft. But in Minecraft, you have, in addition to the render distance, you have simulated distance. And the simulated one, usually it's bigger than the render distance and it's not visible. And it's required for rendering the mesh, at least in my version. Yeah, let's lower the render distance to like 2. And let's go back in the world. And let's TP the player to 100, 100, 100. And where are we? Where are we? TP 50, 50, 50. Yeah, we're underwater. So here you can notice how, sure, in Minecraft, how can I bring back? Yeah, this. If you go past a chunk, it will load and unload the chunks around you. But this is in the X and Z axis. But if we go up, this is the Y axis, it also loads and unloads chunks. And we'll ignore this, just to keep it simple. We can always add this feature later on. We'll ignore it to keep it simple. Imagine stealing Robin sounds cooler. Yo, your clone. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, AI could never wait. Are you using AI? Bro said getting us from AI is not satisfying. Do not label my bro as AI, bro. Which engines should I download? Which engine should I download? I'm currently using Tony, but I want to use something else because it hasn't features like VS Code. Can you tell me which engine I should install? I don't want 3D engines. Yeah, I don't know what Tony is. Yeah. It unloads chunks under you set meshes. Yo, bro, let's go, Ocean. No, this is not. This is the original. I don't want Stolen Valor. That's the original. Here we should have one. Yeah. This is what we have. When we go outside, this disappears. We want this here to continue to generate, to make the terrain endless with this simple chunk, with this chunk, to make it endless. And actually, what I'm wondering is, why do they limit the render distance to be this big? Why is the limit like this? Because the smallest one is 2 chunks, which means we have there 2 chunks, there 2 chunks, and there 2 chunks. So the size is 4 by 4. No, it's 5 by 5. Because there are 2 there, 1 here, that's 3, and 2 more there, that's 5. And so it's 5 by 5, and that's the minimum. That's the minimum. So let's do it like Minecraft. Let's do it like Minecraft and do the size to be 5 by 5. Yeah, so this is render distance of 2. This is render distance of 2. And we are destroying the meshes because the old logic ignores how much. The old logic is still working with 1 by 1. And it's unloading after we move. To bake a pie, create the universe. Just make your own engine. It unloads also under you if you go up. Yeah, we saw that. Oh, I thought that was the Relic Minecraft. Lol. Probably they done some black magic. Dude, if this was the Relic Minecraft, like this is already like Minecraft. Like this is the goal. This is already Minecraft. I don't understand how there are 2 people watching right now, but only 3 chatting. Well, not everyone, like, some people don't like to chat. That's completely okay. Like, you have to have something to chat about. Like, when I watch live streams, I just watch and I don't have much to say. Could you delete the old login logic? That was one thing I was thinking. I think that would simplify it if we remove the old implementation. I hope it will be better than Minecraft. That's impossible since they have Mojang, they have Microsoft. That's a bit of impossible. The rest is Mojang's lawyers waiting to spawn camp, bro. Yeah. Let's see now. Right now, the only logic is when we cross a chunk, it unloads the previous one and loads the current one. That's the only logic. This is the only logic we have. It unloads the chunk we were in and loads the new one, and it's not fully unloading. There we still have the blocks. There we still have the blocks, but we don't have the mesh. Let me think about it. Yeah, let's keep it at this render distance, 5 by 5. Let's make it work. Let's make the world endless with 5 by 5. 5 by 5. And when we make that work, it will be easy to do it for bigger render distance because we'll do it gradually. The logic will be absolutely the same. It will still be working as if it's 5 by 5. But the difference is once you move and it generates 5 by 5 region and we are still in the same chunk, it will increase the render distance to 6, then to 7, 8, 9, 10, up to the current one. That's my idea. That's my idea. I think one thing that will be of use is to have the render distance as a setting. Because right now, what I set is the size. Right now it's 5 by 5, but this is render distance of 2. So what would the render distance translate to as a size? Render distance. And what would it equal as a size? So we know that render distance of 2 equals 5. 5 by 5 size. So what is render distance of 3? It's 3 in front of me, 3 behind me, and the current one, that's 7. So 7 size. And 4 is... yeah, it's 2 times 4 plus 1. That's the formula. So render distance is... so the size is render distance times 2 plus 1. That's the calculation. So here I can have const int render distance to equal to 2, and here it will be render distance time itself plus 1. Yeah. And if we run it, we get here 5 by 5. And if I increase it to render distance 3, render distance 3, now it's should be 7 by 7. Yeah. And I was thinking, actually, what if instead of making the world endless, what if it would be actually easier if we made it so you can change the render distance through settings? And after having that, maybe that would make it easier to implement endless terrain generation. Let me think about it. If we have an option to change the render distance, what would be the logic? It would be to one way to do it is to delete everything and start over. That's one way of doing it. How do they do it in Minecraft? Do they delete everything? What happens if we increase the render distance to 3? What happened? They didn't fully generate. That's weird. Let's increase it to 6, to 4. It increased, but why are the edges not generated? That's weird. Let's set time set day. Let's lower the render distance and see what happens. To back to 2. Let's do 16, 33. Did it remove everything? Let's go back to 2. Yeah, it's too fast to notice. It's too fast to notice. Yeah, we don't need to do that. Let's just make it... Let's just focus on making it endless. Let's just focus on that. Oh, I have an idea. Let's, here in the main thread, just focus on managing the unordered map. Let's just focus on that. No mesh generation. We'll not generate any meshes. We'll just handle that. Just handle that. Yeah. I think that would be more appropriate. And I even did the same thing for the initial generation here. I just created the sub chunk which called its constructor, which just allocated the memory and prepared the mesh and model. I don't need this logic. Yeah, I could do this part. This will be the only thing we do in the logic. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's my idea. So when we move around in the main thread, instead of having this logic where we unload and load chunks, the only thing I'll do is in the main thread, I will calculate what chunks I should load and what chunks I should unload. But loading chunks will be only creating the class itself, which just allocates the memory for the block IDs. And maybe even calling the generate blocks function. Maybe even that as well. Maybe even that. Let me think about it. Or I have another idea. To have the subchunks manage themselves. What I mean about that is to have in the main while loop, to have the subchunk an update function. And the update function will check its own status. If the subchunk itself will check, should it load itself, should it unload itself, should it generate a mesh for itself, something like that. But that's not a good idea because we will lose our terrain generation. Because we generate the terrain gradually from the center outward. I'll have to think about that. Where was the render distance? Here, let's put 12. Look at how it generates from the center outward. Where are we? Let's lower the render distance. It's struggling somewhere. Let's put it at, it was 20 before. 20 minus 1, 19. Yeah, let's do it 5 render distance. That should make it... Yeah, look at how it generates from the center outward. And we'll lose that. How much is the RAM usage? The RAM is 500 megabytes. About 500 megabytes. On a render distance of 5. And how much is of Minecraft with render distance of 5? Here the world is a bit smaller actually. There are 5 here, 5 here, 10, 11, and 11 by 11. How much is in Minecraft? Around 2 gigabytes and something. Almost 3 gigabytes of RAM. This Minecraft. What's up with chat? You could try just copy the code and save it somewhere. Hey bro, never give up, okay? Okay. You should low-key make a Discord server. I had a Discord but I deleted it. It was too distracting and I need to focus on making progress. Don't make a Discord, it doesn't worth it. I have a tip for the hand bobbing. When we stop moving, the hand slowly twins back to the resting position. Yeah. Yeah, but that's in the Java clone. We will think when we implement the player in the C++ clone, we'll think about it. What should we do about it? Is the performance better than in Minecraft, and does it use more thread cores than Minecraft? Minecraft has better performance because probably they have first-time culling. I don't have that yet. First, if I add first-time culling, Unity has it first-time culling. In Unity, in my Unity Minecraft clone, I noticed how if you look up away from the terrain, FPS is very high. If you look at the terrain, FPS drops lower. That's because it's rendering only what you're looking at. And it's an easy optimization since you have to check if the chunk position is outside of your first-time cull, of what the camera can see. That just uses some math, and I've procrastinated on doing that since I don't know what the math will be like. And I'm just procrastinating on that. But if we manage to do it, the performance will be huge improvements. Isn't going to be Java. I'm waiting for Minecraft code in C#. What are you doing here? I tried to make a DC server just to create a madness. I'm surprised. So many people are finding the stream because I was expecting to continue coding here with 0 viewers, but more and more people are coming in and progress has been slower. I tried to make this server just to create Madness Combat community. Make it in settings. I had to deal with Terminal Online. People who need professional, it's a circle. You could Google why the edges doesn't load. Really don't open on Discord. So yeah, I don't need a Discord. Could you say how the chunks are generated? Because maybe when you generate chunks with while. Nice, you showed up on my page again. Hello. What are you using for the terrain usage? What's terrain usage? Terrain. But what do you mean by terrain usage? Your game is bare bones and 500 megabytes. That's too much. We'll see why the RAM is 500 megabytes. The RAM will increase. You think 500 is well, a lot now, but it will increase because right now every subchunk is storing. Where is the subchunk? Every subchunk is storing an array of 16 by 16 by 16 blocks on the heap, and it's just these enum of IDs. I assume it's each one is 32 bits. Yeah, 4 bytes. So if we have if render distance, let's say it's 5, so that's 2 times 5 plus 1 is the size, so 11. 11 times 11 times the height, let's say it's 15. That's how many sub chunks, and each sub chunk is 16 by 16 by 16 blocks. And that's how many blocks the world has, and each block is 4 bytes. That's how many bytes, and bytes in megabytes. Bytes, 2 megabytes, 29 megabytes. Okay, what is using my RAM? I don't know. I don't. Oh, I have some other things. Yeah, I have these JSON models. I read through them and prepare, and I cache them, so I don't have to read through them every time. Maybe the cache of these blocks takes up a lot of memory. Most likely it's from that. I don't know what else. Where can I get the source code? For now, from nowhere. Like, I have the source code uploaded for 2 of my Minecraft clones. It's in the GitHub. What makes the terrain shape? Sorry, I don't know the word for it. What makes the terrain shape? What are you using for the terrain usage? And you are saying terrain shape. For the terrain shape. Just a for loop. A few for loops and that's it. Oh, yeah, Perlin noise. Also, I'll show you which Perlin noise as well. If it's the Perlin noise. Is this one. A header-only Perlin noise library. That's what they use. And they even have a web page, I think, where you can test around different settings. But you can use whatever you want. Yo, we have on Twitch. Hello Kai, what's up? Hope you're having a good day. I like how you're calculating and prove 500 mega and then proves 500 is insanely high. Yeah, I proved 500 is insanely high. Like how flat earth is. Maybe that you generate the chunk where you are, and next to you the chunk deletes, unloads, make it. If it render distance 5, keep all chunks until you load new chunks. We'll manage to solve this now. We'll manage to do it. No way, we got someone on Twitch. Yeah, on Twitch we barely have viewers because YouTube is much better at advertising the stream. Twitch doesn't care if you get somebody to notice you. I was so lost on it, Timo. Is this Minecraft clone made completely using Raylib without any... well, your question is weird since Raylib uses OpenGL in the backend. Raylib uses OpenGL. So I use OpenGL with Raylib. What if the entire world was just a shader with the seed input that generates the world? Yeah, we'll think about that later. We need to make progress. How people call me and it's still correct way to call me. Because... okay. Yeah. Let's make progress since the limit for this stream is 3 hours. And 1 hour has already passed. We need to make progress because we are behind. We're not actually like behind. We can do whatever we want. But I would like to make progress. Yeah, let's bring down the render distance to 2. Let's bring it down. And let's remove this where you... let's remove this. Let's remove only this. Everything else we'll keep it as it is. I've decided that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. And let's see now. Let's go to where the code is. Here. Let's remove all of this. Here. Let's remove it. Even the conditional. And now it will be like before, just the static terrain. And now we can put our new logic. And what will be the new logic? The new logic will be extremely simple. It will ignore the generation of meshes. It will ignore the generation of meshes. You'll see what I mean. We will ignore the meshes, we'll just handle the blocks themselves. We'll handle just the blocks. We'll ignore the meshes. The only thing we'll do with the meshes is unload them. That's it. So when we move around, I want all of that to disappear. But here I want to have blocks. Look at how here I have the block hover. I want this block hover to continue with me. That's the simplest thing we can do. And I think this is the good way to do it from here on. I think this is a good approach. And so let's do it. We need to bring back this that we commented out. And comment again out some parts. Which parts actually? Let's comment out this. Here. Let me think about it. We need to write very little code. Just this. Just this. Here. Yeah, here. Just this code. This generates all the positions. That's it. But let me think about it. We need for each one of the positions to not generate a new subchunk because there may be one already generated. We need to check if one exists. If it exists, we do nothing. If it doesn't exist, we create it and push it there. But we also need to unload some chunks. Let me think about it. And how will we know what we need to... Whoa, wait. Something's happening on Twitch. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I found the stream on YouTube, but I like Twitch way more. And how far along you are in the program? How far along are you in the programming? We are pretty close to making the world endless. And I also think Twitch is very good in watching live streams. But YouTube has its positive of saving the VOD. Twitch saves it for very little while and then deletes it. That's very annoying. So each one of the platforms has its positives. Minecraft is switching to Vulkan. Yeah, I also saw that news. That's good news. But I cannot switch to Vulkan. I'm a single developer. I can only do OpenGL. Me too, that's nice. That's gonna change modding pretty heavily. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know much about coding though. Yes, like Sodium and Iris and Distant Horizon and other visual modes. Yeah, okay. Twitch is getting more people. What's up with YouTube? With Twitch you have to have at least 5 viewers to get on the dashboard or be in the algorithm. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Could you add settings in creative? Let's add that after making the world endless. Let's add that. We'll add settings and creative after, so in another stream. I like to organize things in separate streams. I'll copy your suggestion because I like it. I'll copy it and save it in Excalibur. Here with all the other suggestions. Here you keep company to another viewer. We are behind. Who is we? I swear I have my project. Yeah, I'm behind. How long have you been coding for? Well, since I was very little, my first coding was trying to make a website with PHP and HTML and CSS. Thank you. We are plan B in case bro needs sacrifice. Will you open source this Minecraft clone? I cannot open source it since since the textures are copyrighted. Twitch getting more views? No way. I'm from Bulgaria. Hello. What's up? Well, not from the... Bro started coding in the womb. Not in the womb, but a bit after that. I feel like we are here to witness greatness before he blows up. Blowing up will hinder the progress. So let's hope this, if a blow up comes, let's hope this doesn't happen now. Let's happen after a few more months. Because I'm more productive when nobody's watching. Which Windows version are you using? 10. I'm using 10. But I would like to code in Linux. But I hate that Linux compatibility with programs is not that nice. Is it possible to open source just the code? That's possible. But it will make it hard for people to run the project because I will need support for texture packs. I can make some cool texture if he needs. Nice. After this stream, try making Minecraft in Word. I don't need in Word. Why would I need to make Minecraft in Word? When I'm jiggling chats around. You can use VS Code on Linux. I use on Linux NeoVim. I use NeoVim. I love using NeoVim. But compatibility on Linux, I use DaVinci Resolve for making YouTube videos, and DaVinci Resolve made me problems. It runs. I can render videos in Linux with Resolve, but sometimes it crashes. It has bugs. Okay, let's make progress. Let's try to make some progress here. Here, when we move to another chunk, this code runs. And this code is really simple. It calculates all the new positions. And we have to compare them with all the current ones we have. What's your PC specs? It's running so many things at once. It sometimes runs, sometimes crashes. Here you can look at PC specs. In the Minecraft debug, let's even increase the GUI scale. Yeah, you can see on the right the CPU, AMD Ryzen 16 core, 360 Ti NVIDIA, and the RAM 64 gigabytes. But this was when I had my 6-month internship as a programmer. I saved up what I earned, and I invested all of what I earned into a new PC. And it was a few years ago when RAM was cheap. That's why it's 64 gigabytes RAM. Yeah, every program needs so much RAM. I had a program that needed 32 gigabytes. Like, they need so much RAM, man. You know what we can do? Let me think about it. We can... Let me think about it. We need to save all of these positions. Actually, no. We need to save only the positions that are not in the world, but that's not true. Or to separate them. To save in one place the positions that are not in the world currently. So for sure we need to add them. Or we can actually directly just add them. And in another place to save the positions. No, we will not add them. we'll have two arrays. One array will save all the positions that are not inside of the world. We'll save them in an array, and in another array, we'll save those positions that are already in the world. Then we'll go over the unordered map. We'll go over that and check, compare with the second array. Let me think about it. Comparing the second array. Yeah, we need a drawing. We are close to making significant progress. I can feel it. But I've been saying that for a while now, so maybe I'm imagining things. But let's just hope. So let's say this green one, let's say this green square is the old chunks that are rendered, and this red one is the new chunks. So, and let's say we have moved here to the right, so all of these should be added. Let's switch them. The green one is the new one, since green is more like adding stuff. Let's say these ones we need to add, and these ones we need to remove. So my idea was here to generate all the positions. And to split them like this here. This one to be in one array, this one to be in another array. I was thinking to do that. And from these positions to compare, to single out these ones. So I'll go over all of these positions and check if they are not inside of here. If they are not inside of here, I'll unload them. That's what I'll do. And from here, these new ones, I'll add these ones. But I'm not generating any mesh. I'm not generating. That's the idea. And so when we run the game, after we code this, it shouldn't take long. We should see how the world unloads as we move around. But there should be no new meshes generating. That's it. Yo. What's up in Twitch? I know your CPU is so much better than mine, but my GPU is better and I have $1 million in RAM, so basically my GPUs, yeah, your GPU is very good. I'm so okay, I made my PC a couple of years ago. I got 64 gigabytes. Oh, my RAM is also DDR5, I think, since because my processor needed the latest motherboard, and the motherboard required me to get DDR5. That was extremely annoying. 16 gigs of DDR4, 30 euros. Man, that's what a bargain. I should buy another 16 gigs. I just built Minecraft server and wish RAM was cheaper. I'm using 16 DDR4. Still works great though. I have mine on older DDR3. What are the other specs? i7, not enough for Minecraft. My specs were really bad before I did an internship as a programmer. I had a really bad PC, but after my internship I managed to save up some money. And thankfully I finally got a good PC. What's up with YouTube? Hate how the ranked every damn program became so RAM needy. If the developer actually cared, will we switch to Linux if it gets better? I don't know if I would switch to Linux. Every day I'm thinking about Linux every day because it's so nice of a place to code in. Linux. It's a good place for a programmer to be in. And I already know Arch Linux. For me, Arch Linux is the best distribution for me personally. But for some others, it may be Ubuntu. Linux recruiters trying their best to turn people into Linux bros. Ambient occlusion video was so good. Thank you, man. I really wanted to add smooth lighting, so that's a future idea, because the lighting is not smooth. But at least we have ambient occlusion. Hello. And we have Twitch. My main is... yeah. Nice. Okay. Let's implement the idea. Do you use AI or not? Well, you can look at the streams. We haven't used it in the streams. So how I program off stream is the same way I program during stream. I try to not use it. I try to not use AI. I've tried it before, and it's like you off-source your thinking to the AI. You off-source the thinking to the AI, and like you don't progress. And when you achieve something using the AI, it's not satisfying. It's not satisfying, and I want the satisfaction of achieving something on my own, even if it's something really stupid, like calculating 8 times 6, and even if it's as simple as that, and if I do it on my own, that's satisfying, even if it's something simple. But it has its positives in like searching for something, like research, like search engines have it as well, like you use it even if you don't want to. Like how old is Minecraft? You get an AI summary. Okay. Who is Notch? Yeah, here, AI overview. Everybody has AI in your face. Even Gmail, I think, has it. It's everywhere. Like we're all using it in some way. And it will continue to increase. And I even, and here we even had AI that suspended my account automatically. Automatically suspended. This is like an algorithm. Is managing everything. Like AI is everywhere. But then they brought my account. Bro said, and 3 people in the stream, you don't have absolute control. Yeah, it's sad how the AI summaries are forced. Add AI and then your own code gives you absolute control. And let's see what's up with Twitch. Arch is the best for me. I use it on my laptops, but I refuse to use it on my main because I need to download over 1 terabyte of data. You try running Linux on the old one. Taking people's jobs. Windows so much worse for server. Yes. Yeah. Let's make progress. Let's make some kind of progress. We have the idea. We spent an hour and a half brainstorming ideas and playing around with Minecraft, and it's finally time we make progress. And I think we can do it. Let me think about it. Let's make one array here. One array with positions, so vector 3, new subchunks. This will be the size times world height. Yeah, it will be that. And then current subchunk will be 0, and here let's store them temporarily. Let me think about it. Yeah, let's store them temporarily. Equals this new position. But we need this offset, which is, let me think about it. This creates the positions from 0 up to the size, which is 5, and then we do an offset. And do I update this offset? Do I update it? I should be updating it in the main while loop. Here, let's update it. Subchunks offset. Actually, let's update it when we actually need it here. Where is it? Here. Let's update it here. Offset. Yeah, it's to make it centered, but we also need to offset it based on the player position. Do I use that? Don't I use the camera? The camera position? Current player position? New subchunk? No. Here maybe? No. What about here? Camera position? Subchunk position? Yeah, I added here. I added here. Interesting. The subchunk origin, why? Yes, let's add that as well. The 0 on the Y. Let's add that as well. Here. And that's the... that's this. Yeah. And we add the offset, and we have all the new subchunks. All the new subchunks. And now we need to compare them. Now we need to compare them to see what are the new ones and to add them to the world, and what are the old ones that we need to unload. And that will be it. But I just need to do it. Sunlight not open sourced. Not using Linux, get more FPS on Minecraft. Why not dual boot? Because when I update Microsoft and I have dual boot, it always makes changes to my Linux system, and I have to fix my Linux system. That's extremely annoying. I was dual booting for a while. I wanted to give Linux site more storage. Then I stopped using DaVinci Resolve. Dual boot on Windows, yeah. Like, it's extremely annoying, dual booting on Windows. It's as if they make it on purpose. Yo, the real splits, what's up? How have you been? You have been in previous streams. Are you making Minecraft from scratch? Or is this a mod? It's not a mod, it's not a mod, it's from scratch. Well, not completely from scratch. I'm using Raylib. Raylib saves up some time. His badges gets used in the wrong way out of company greed. Do you think it will be worth upgrading my server? Let me think about it. I got mine for €50, very nice. I'm still ignorant with PC components, so forgive me if I'm all good now. Mean understand, don't worry, understand, yeah. What's up with YouTube? Good, from scratch? Yeah, from scratch. Windows 10 doesn't cause any problems. I'm gonna watch this stream on TV. Yo, I'm gonna be on TV. Yo. Yo guys, we're going to be on TV. Say hi. Windows 11 is... I had an idea. If you start your program and configure the changing stuff, it's automatically live. Yeah, you should make your own rendering API. Who uses Vulkan? Make your own rendering API. Do booting Windows. That would be like such a horrible experience because you have to work with all the possible GPUs and their driver updates. That would be so annoying to make a rendering API. Though booting Windows 10 Linux is good. Yeah. Mom, get the camera. Lol. Yeah, we're on TV, guys. We're on TV. Let's see now. We have all the positions. We have all the positions. Let's just unload. That would be so much easier. Let's just unload. Yeah, let's just unload. So we need to go over the world here. Let's just unload them here. And let's just unload them. And how are we going to unload them since we're iterating over them and I wanted to delete them? Oh, we need to go over... let me think about it. Damn it. How am I going to delete them while I iterate over them? How am I going to do that? Why are you remaking Minecraft? Because the alternative is to make my own game. And when you're learning, I'm both learning how to make a fun and original game and both learning how to make a game. And making a clone of an existing game, I just focus on learning how to make a game. That was my logic. I'm watching you on TV also yesterday, nice. I hated that you can't change what you write in YouTube Live. I might return to Windows. You have... Keep going, champ. Just delete them. Yeah, but I iterate... The iterator... Yeah, I think... Yeah, okay, just delete them, yeah. No, that's good logic. Yeah, let's just do it and see what will happen. I think it was called erase. Here if Yeah, wait a second. An array will be annoying. Like here, I want to compare the existing subchunks with the new ones to see what I need to unload. And if I iterate over all the existing ones and have to compare if it is contained in the new ones, if it is contained in the new ones, that will take up a lot of time. Here I already go over all the positions, and here I can check with the existing ones and label them if they should stay, and those with a label of should not stay to be removed. So before this, to reset all of them to be like there's a chance you'll be unloaded, to warn them, all of them. And here when I go over the new positions, to check if it already exists. If it already exists, I remove that warning. And here after all of this, I go over the current subchunks and I check, is your warning still there? If it is, you're gone. That would be the easiest to do. That would be the easiest. Yeah, that would be the easiest. Yeah, let me think about it. And after that, that will just unload them. That will just unload them. We'll need the loading as well. But the loading, we don't need to worry about it. The loading is actually we may also do the generation of blocks, but the generation of mesh will not happen here. Yeah. The generation of mesh will not happen here. Let me think about it. Let's see what's up with chat. Yeah, Python is good to use for making games since it's high level and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the low details. You don't have to worry about the low details. High level means you don't need to how is it easiest to explain? Like in C++, you have pointers, you have references. You don't have that in Python. That's what I mean. You have access to a lot more things you can change in C++. That's going lower level. Higher level removes all of that. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about that. That's the difference. Yeah. And that's why it's a good choice if you're starting out. Here. Man, how can I remove this? Yeah, like this. If far away invisible, delete second. If far away invisible, loud. You don't have to, but I like being able to crash my program with memory leak. Yeah, 3 states. But Python has many plugins like Pygame. Yeah, Pygame is very good. Pygame is very good. Let's see what's up with Twitch. Just doing some stuff. Yeah, that's okay. I also watch streamers and don't chat so much. I'm going to watch while I do some stuff. Yeah, that's I think the better fit for my streams is to just do something else while you watch, since it's me just coding and doing stuff. It's not a big entertaining stream like other streamers where you have to give all of your attention. It's more like going in a library, and it's an accountability where we all guys are doing something. Yo, what's up? Yeah, it says your first time chat, so I can see it. What's up? Twitch is growing. What's up with YouTube? I don't know what this is. Oh, you're on Twitch. I'ma switch over there. Oh, it's you. Yeah, it's you. Yo, hello, what's up? Yeah, I also like Minecraft. I also like Terraria and Cube World. But I'm really disappointed in Cube World, how the development, like, I bought it years ago, Cube World, and I had so many expectations. I thought it will be the new Minecraft, and I bought it early on and was extremely disappointed when the developer was like, oh, I just recorded the whole game. Everything is new now, everything is different, but the visual still the same. Like, I had such big expectations for Cube World. How many days you lost during your... How many days you lost doing? What do you mean I lost them? I didn't lose days. I didn't lose days. Have you ever tried out competitive programming? In university, there was something... The first time I got introduced to competitive programming was in university, but I didn't give it much attention since I was struggling with calculus and with all the other subjects. So I didn't give it much attention. Did YouTube have ads? I don't know. I don't know about how the ads work. Yeah, but the viewer can see. me think about it. Here I was thinking to check for all of these vertices. Since I'm going through all of them, I can easily for each one of them check if they're here or not. Yeah, and I can go through them, through all of these before that, and I'll have a flag going on. I'll have a flag here. Some kind of a flag system. So maybe I was thinking of doing a variable of if I should remove this. And it will be only used here. It will be only used here. Have you worked on implementing data gen in your game yet? What is data gen? What's that? Let's go to the subchunks. What game you want to make if you learned much? Like Minecraft, a voxel game. Like Minecraft, like Hytale, like Cube World, like Terraria, like Noita, voxel game, where the focus is not that much of an art, but on the coding itself, because I'm not an artist. I need to stand out through the code, and that's why I'm focusing on going deep into OpenGL, into C++. This is where my strength is. I have studied computer science. These are my strengths. That's why I'm not using an engine, since I cannot stand out using an engine where my job is already done there. I cannot stand out there. Inside of the subchunk, we can have a flag. Bool should remove by should remove, and here by default is it private? Here is this private. Excuse me. Oh, it's a structure. Everything's public. Everything's public. Iterator second should remove is true, and here if I have access to it, so auto iterator equals, let's find it, the position, and if we can find it in the current world, where did I use logic like that? Get subchunks, current subchunk, that no, that's an integer. I need the position. And if the iterator is not the end, if it's not the end, if it has found it, then I can do second should remove to be false, and then I iterate over them once more, and if I should remove them, to filter them out by that, Is there a simpler way to filter out an ordered map? Filter. Is there an easy way to do it? Erase. Oh yeah, I can just erase. What's this? Yeah, we can do it this. Begin. Yeah, I was searching if there is already a function like that. What's up with YouTube? Is there writing? Is it? It is a way of writing JSON with code. It want to make. It is a way writing JSON with code. It's used a lot when modding Minecraft. Minecraft also data. Oh, data gen. Basically everything now. Oh, I see. Yeah. The only JSON I use is for the models. This is how Minecraft creates the models. If you consider this data gen, sure. If this is considered data gen, yes. But this is my only data gen. Does OpenGL exist in Python? Probably. Probably you can use OpenGL. Maybe Pygame uses OpenGL. PyOpenGL. Yeah, I don't know what Pygame uses. Yeah. Here, I want to remove it. So I do if, but there should be an filter for this, for a map. There should be a filter for a map. The only thing people share, you're getting dropped frames. Oh no, everything's fine. I got scared that I lost internet. Yeah, this is only thing we get on the net for an iterator to filter out, and that's what we'll use. That's what you will use. We need to filter out all the subchunks that have this should remove. That's what we want. Let's copy his implementation. And what's up here? And here we erase it if should remove. If should remove, we erase it. That's it. So we should have unloading. And I'm scared to run this. We should have unloading. Now where's YouTube chat? Sup, can you show a little bit of your copy? What's copy? What's copy? Let's run it and see what happens. This should unload once we move around. Yeah, yes, it's unloading. Yes. There are absolutely no subchunks. It's unloading. Yo, it unloaded. It unloaded. It unloaded. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. So we're unloading them. Now we need to go over. Let me think about it. We are unloading them here. And okay. Let's do here I did a static array, but let's make it a vector. Std vector of this, of positions, to add them later. No, actually we can directly add them. I think we can directly add them. Because I will set this should remove to true for them. Yeah, we can directly add them. Else, if it cannot find them, I'll directly add them here. And there should be no errors. There should be no errors. There should be no errors. Yes, and now it should be, we should still have some new subchunks. They just don't have a mesh. They just don't have a mesh. But we should have them there. Yeah. And should remove. Let me think about it. Should remove should be false by default, right? Do I set it in constructor? Should remove, where is it? Should remove. Let's set it by default to be false. By default, we'll not remove it. But most likely that's what is getting as a default value. Next, what's the next step? What's the next step? The next step is we need to generate the blocks. Let's see if it can handle the main thread, the generation of blocks. If it's too slow for here to be handled. How should we do it? Here. Generate blocks. Here we generate the blocks, but still there should be no mesh generated. There should be no mesh. The main thread manages to handle the generation of blocks. Okay, but the mesh generation should be outside of here, in the separate thread. And let's think about it, where that should be. Where should that be? Where should we generate the mesh? I was thinking of having a separate thread, but if I create it here, it will create it again and again, and the previous ones may not be finished. We should have one thread that doesn't end, and it should be here. And actually, let me think about it. Here, this thread. I generate here initially. Everything here generates on a separate thread initially. And I could keep this thread alive. I could keep it alive and have it check. Let me think about it. But it doesn't have access to the current player position. That's an issue. That's a bit of an issue. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Damn it. I didn't think about that. We're managing to unload it. We just need to, and we are loading the new subchunks, but we are not generating a mesh for them. We're not generating a mesh. That's the only issue. That's the only issue. Let me think about it. We can test it easily. We can easily test it. Let's just generate let's just generate the subchunks below us. Let's just generate the chunk we are in. Always. It will automatically unload when time comes. Let's just generate that. Let's keep it simple. And actually, let's do a commit. Auto unload subchunks outside render distance. Push. Now, here for world height, let's uncomment this code. Let's uncomment it. And yo, what's up? Your videos have inspired me to make my own clone using Java. Yeah, but good luck with that. It's have realistic expectations. Like my videos skip a lot of stuff. Like I cannot put everything in a 10-minute video. So the only thing I want you to have is realistic expectations, and you'll be fine. I'm thinking on how to generate the mesh for all the subchunks in the current chunk. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I go over the world height here, last subchunk. Yeah, that's it. Get reference to it. This unloading, I'll remove it. This and this I don't need it. Okay, this, all of this, I don't need it. Here, what does this do? Again, the world height. Generate mesh, yeah. Break. If it cannot find it, oh yeah, we'll ignore this. Yeah, this should generate the mesh. Now we should have only, yeah, now we have the subchunk under us. And it should be infinite. This should be infinite. We're generating the mesh under us. And this should be infinite. Yeah, it's infinite. And it's like a snake. And it's not generating the trees and the foliage. Oh, I need to... Where is it? Generate blocks. Here. I need to block spawner. Spawn blocks. They should spawn the trees. Yeah. Now we have the trees. Now we have the trees as well. And we need to increase the render distance. We need to increase the render distance. Let's do it in the main thread. Or maybe I want it to be in a separate thread. To increase the render distance, I cannot continue. The mesh generation needs to happen in a separate thread. It needs to happen in a separate thread for sure. Let's see what's up with chat. Make it like Minecraft. If you don't move again, the render distance increase. Yeah, why does it need to increase? Let me think about it. Damn it. There needs to be a separate thread running that has my position, that's it. And how would a separate thread know my position? How would it know it? It needs access to it, and it doesn't have it. If I have a separate... we can keep it here. We can keep it. We can do it in the main thread. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We can do it in the main thread. Here. Let me think about it. Subchunk offset. No, actually we just iterate over all of them. Iterate over all of them. We remove this Stack Overflow comment. And to run this. And now, why did it freeze? Why did it freeze? Is it doing that much work? I go over all the subchunks. If they have a generated mesh, I continue. Else, I generate a mesh for them. That shouldn't be that so much to compute, but we need to run it on a separate thread, that's for sure. It's a pleasure to watch your live stream. I'm a viewer inspired by your project, and I'm kind of trying to make my own Minecraft. On Godot, yeah, Godot is completely okay to make a Minecraft clone, if you ever see it. Godot is completely fine to make a Minecraft clone, especially when just starting out. Even you can find on the X or Twitter, whatever you like to call it, you can find there like there's some other person was making Minecraft clone. I saw his clip, his post, and he was using Godot, and his Minecraft clone was more advanced than my own. It was more advanced than my own, so Godot is completely fine. Yeah, we need to run this on a separate thread. Oh my god. What it says, there is hi. It's hi. Hi pets. Yeah, I was confused why it says there is a sin, but it's auto translation. The auto translation is horrible. It doesn't translate other messages as well. Currently working on something called I was just talking about GDCraft. I was just talking about, yeah, that should be it. Yeah. The post I was talking about is GDCraft. I even commented on his post. Where was it? Yeah, here. I think this is GDCraft. Where is the name? GDCraft, yeah, that's GDCraft. And I commented, I'm trying to move my clone to Java to Godot. This is when I streamed making Minecraft clone in Godot. And yeah, I saw your video, and yeah, this is the clone. I didn't even realize that time. I haven't used Kotlin. Yeah. Godot is absolutely fine to make my Minecraft clone. Everything is almost complete. Almost. Oh, I didn't comment that out. No, I did comment it out. Did I? Yeah, okay. It's not that. Let's comment this out and uncomment this out. Yeah, as of now, we can generate the subchunks, the mesh in our chunk. The difference from before, it's infinite. It's actually infinite. But to generate a bigger render distance, we need to move this in a separate thread. And actually, we can set the size to be here. Let's set it to 1. 1 by 1. Yeah. Now, this is what we have. The terrain is endless. The terrain is endless, but it's render distance of 1. To increase the render distance, I need to move it in a separate thread. I need to move it in a separate thread because it will just lag generating the mesh. It will just lag. Are you trying to get affiliated on Twitch? Well, trying. I'm streaming on both platforms, and my focus is on being consistent streaming, if I can, every day 3 hours, and making YouTube videos documenting the process, hopefully 2 times a week. That's my focus. The affiliate, if it happens, is a nice bonus, but that's it. One thing about Kotlin, I didn't even realize the time. Not possible to test it. How long did it take you to learn C++? Well, I've programmed for a long time. It's hard to tell. If you finish the game, we'll release the source code. It should be just the source code without the textures. It should be the source code without the textures since they're copyrighted. But then I don't know of who it will be to use if it's just the source code. What language do you like the most and how much time did it take to learn it? I don't like Java since it uses a garbage collector, so C# as well. I'm not a fan of using a garbage collector. I'm liking C++ for now. I'm liking C++. Did you use any AI in the project? Well, I have to say yes, since even if you search on Google, you get an AI summary. But it's mostly me. Like, who is Notch? Like here, you get an AI overview. Like, like technically yes, but it's mostly me. But it's mostly me. If I decide to move this in a separate thread, I'll have to get the position of the player some way. And I don't know how to access the player like that. Maybe if I move him to the world where I have global access to all the subchunks, since to increase the render distance, I cannot run that on the main thread. I cannot run it on the main thread. That's where the struggle is. The world is actually endless, and all I need is to render the mesh in a separate thread. That's all I need to do. Could you try 32 chunks? 32 render distance, you mean? Let's try it. Give me a sec. I'll have to commit this if I do this change. And we need to go back to a previous commit. This is 20 by 20. Let's... how many blocks will be 32 render distance? How many blocks will that be? Yeah, let me check. No, it's 32 by plus 1. 65 by 65. For me, it's a bit more. For me, it's a bit more. Damn it. Let me focus, guys. Let's go back and let me see if I can make any progress. The goal is to make it endless. Let's do that. Let's make it endless. It is endless. Let's increase the render distance. To increase the render distance, it needs to have... We can try to slightly increase it. Let's slightly increase it to 3. And let's still do it in the main thread. Here. Yeah, here. Yeah, I need to go over all of them and generate the mesh. What's the problem? Why did it freeze last time? Here. Why does it freeze? That's what I'm not sure about. It should be slow, not to freeze. It shouldn't freeze, it should be just slow. It's going over all the subchunks. And if they have a generated mesh, we continue. Most of them have a generated mesh. Yeah, let's bring down the... No, the visible size is still 1. The render distance is not even large. And it's freezing up. It shouldn't freeze. It shouldn't. And it's freezing. It shouldn't. Yeah, it freezes up. Something's wrong with... Oh, do we... No, we don't... Yeah, I got it. It's in while true forever. I don't increase it. Here. I don't increase the iterator. Yeah, let's increase the render distance. 2 by 3 by 3. Let's do render distance times 2 plus 1. It lags, but it should unfreeze. Yeah, it's too big of a render distance. It's too big of a render distance, it's freezing. It's still frozen. It's still frozen. Why? I'm not asking that much. I know I'm running it on the main thread, but still. Let's bring it down again. It shouldn't take that much. Here, it 1 by 1 runs fine. When I increase the render distance, let's say 2 by 2, it lags. Even 2 by 2 lags. Sure, I can put it on a separate thread to not freeze the main thread. I can do that, but it shouldn't lag for this much. It should take it like few seconds at most. It should take it few seconds. It's still frozen. What is it doing? Let's see what's up with chat. It's still frozen. Somewhere maybe it's in a while, in a infinite while loop. Looking like the real MC for some reason. Shouldn't visible distance be equal to render distance? I'm ignoring render distance. I want to try some easier variants where the world is one by one. Since render distance, the minimum in Minecraft is 2, and even that is like 5 by 5 world. It's too huge. Have reduced the chunk size to see if the calculation isn't block based. Maybe it is the RAM chunk, although it still wouldn't make sense. VRAM FPS. Damn it. Why is it frozen? It's stuck somewhere. It's stuck. Somewhere it is stuck. Let's pause it. Here. Continue. Continue. What's up? F10? No. Oh my god. I increase the iterator. I increase it. The issue, this will not be solved if we put it in a separate thread, most likely. It should continue to run in the main thread, just slowly. It can freeze, sure, but it shouldn't freeze forever. It shouldn't freeze forever. Why don't you use parts of Minecraft source to understand from that's how I would go about this? I don't want to look at the source code since I want to see what I can come up with. It's more fun that way. Prefetch denoise 23%. Like, what's the point in looking the source code then? Yeah, the game just freezes, but infinitely. It's okay if it freezes, but not infinitely. It's okay to freeze, but not infinitely. It should freeze maximum 6 seconds, not more than that. If it's like 1 by 1, where is it? If it's 1 by 1, it works perfectly fine. 1 by 1 works. I have culling. Profile it. Profile it. We can profile it. Yeah, let's profile it. Let's profile it. That's a good call. What should we profile? Here. Profile scope. And this will be move code when crossing chunk. This is when we cross a chunk. And then where else should we profile? This is for unloading chunks. Unloading chunks. Unloading chunks. Actually, the unloading part is here. Here is the unloading part. Let's profile this. And this is for generating new block, loading new profile scope, load new chunks. This is for loading new chunks. Wait a minute. Where did my other profiling go? Weird. Ah, here it is. Erasing. Yeah. And what's this? Let's copy it. Here, this is for loading new chunks. And this is for... Let's profile that as well. Here. Let's profile this. And what is this? Generating new mesh. New subchunks mesh. And we need to enable Tracy. True. Tracy. We start Tracy, hit connect, and start the game. Okay, Tracy is running. Now let's see what the profiler says. Yeah, this is it. Code when crossing a chunk. This is it. But this is when it works. This is for 1 by 1. We need to see it for when it's 2 by 2. Because it works only 1 by 1. It works only when it's 1 by 1. Load new chunks. Loading new chunks took very few microseconds, microseconds, like very few seconds to load the new chunks. And then to generate new subchunks, when crossing the chunk. Wait a minute. Loading new chunks. And here is unloading chunks. Look at how fast unloading is. Man, unloading. Oh, maybe unloading the meshes is asynchronous. Maybe it's asynchronous. And there is a problem when we're trying to both generate a mesh and unload a mesh in terms of relib. Maybe. And here is generating the mesh. This should be in a separate thread for sure. It should be in a separate thread. Don't have such a great job so far. I just would say to take reference from source code for the player. The player in Minecraft has to be perfect, especially animations. That matters. Yeah, I know it matters. Yeah. You're right. Maybe the unloading isn't working properly. Because when it freezes, the old chunk is still shown. When it freezes. Oh, wait a second. When it freezes, wait a minute. So you're saying in the code, it's freezing. So here we're loading the new chunks and unloading chunks, and here up to here at most it freezes. We haven't reached here for generating, but we can see in the profiler. We can see in the profiler when we increase the visible size. When we increase the visible size, I need to restart this. Reconnect. Now, let's try to move. Let's try to move. I'm scared. Yeah, we moved. And let's see the profiler. Everything stopped. Do you see anything of interest? Anything of interest? Let's start from the end. Here. Okay, here. Yo. And look at this. Loading new chunks. Then unloading chunks. And then it's starting to generate here. Generating new subchunks. And it froze. Generating mesh. Going through all blocks. That's where it froze. So it did start to generate mesh, but when you said that most likely it's unloading since we can still see the mesh, well, everything is on the main thread, so the next refresh will be when we have the new mesh, because it's on the main thread, the regeneration. Was broken. When it freezes you wouldn't see anything. Yeah. Sugar, recreating Minecraft is low-key tough. I'll go for now, watch later, have a nice... Okay, thank you for watching. YouTube recommended this because I watched a Minecraft video. Well, now you're a developer. Prefetch PC4 hack dev. So that's where the issue is. It's trying to generate the new mesh and it freezes there. It freezes there. That's where it freezes. Hello, what's up? What's up? Let's stop it. Can we pause it and see where it is? Here. We can... more of compilate. Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. How does it need for a new mesh to be generated? Maybe because I'm loading the new ones. I'm unloading ones and loading new ones. That's where it's coming from. Your Minecraft clone is the best I've seen so far. There are other Minecraft clones that are very good as well. There are other Minecraft clones that are very good. It's not only mine. But for mine, I've just spent a lot of time doing it. Generate mesh. Generate mesh. Go through all blocks. There's a slight chance it's because of the generate mesh. Because of the lock. The mutex lock. Let's remove it. Let's wait out here. No, it's not the mutex lock. It's not the mutex lock. It's not that. Where would it freeze? When it's getting the neighbors, maybe? Where would it freeze? Here. Get access, sure. Generating mesh. Then here, get access, generate mesh. Generate mesh. Huh. Here, maybe this will be our hint. Look at how unloading chunks always takes very little time. The unloading maybe is asynchronous. Maybe it's asynchronous, and we can look at the logs. We can look at the log files. What's happening there? Like, because when it's 2x2 world, it takes more time to unload it, and it's happening asynchronously. And at the same time, we're uploading new mesh. Maybe that's the problem. Let's look at the console. Mesh uploaded. Mesh uploaded, but I don't see mesh unloaded. Huh. And this is a few seconds ago. Sorry, I don't get it. How can it be asynchronous if it's all in the main thread? Because I'm using Raylib, and Raylib can do its own implementation of stuff. Raylib, I don't know what Raylib does behind the scenes when unloading. Maybe it's on the main thread as well, but that was just an assumption, hypothetically. That's the only thing stopping us from increasing the render distance. That's the only thing. This hiccup. A small hiccup somewhere. And we're getting close to the 3-hour limit for the stream. We need to think fast. Comparison. Oh, I get it. Maybe make the unloading set a variable to true when it ends, only if the variable is true. The unloading directly deletes the subchunk. There is nothing I can set for the sub. Let me think about it. Here, the unloading, I directly erase it. I directly erase it, which calls the destructor. And unloads the mesh if we have it generated. And deletes the heap for the blocks. Oh, you're saying a global variable. The music stopped. Maybe make the unloading set a variable to true when it ends. Oh, to wait the unloading. Ramless caching. To wait the loading. Let's see what unloading does. Unload mesh. It sets these to 0. Somewhere. Disable. Yeah. I go over all of them and I call this. Is it possible that... Wait a minute, generate mesh. Can generate mesh stop at some point? Here we get the neighboring subchunks. Then we go over all the blocks. We get the neighbors as well. We get the neighbors. We do ambient occlusion, that's not a problem. We get template, we generate, and that's it. Then here we create the subchunk mesh and allocate memory. And that's it. We are not even uploading the mesh. We are not even uploading it. It shouldn't be stopping. It shouldn't be stopping. Does the iterator change? No. There's something else we can do. It's this. To calculate the positions ourselves. For the new ones. Here. And if it cannot find it, second should remove. Oh no, if it can find it. Oh, if it can find it, if it's there, let's do this. And mesh generated. And if it can find it and there isn't a mesh generated, to generate the mesh. That's something else we can do. To recalculate all the positions. To not iterate over with an iterator, but with the positions. I want to test it out. What's up? Here I need to close this. And let's see what we get. Yeah, now it works. Oh my god. It was the iterator. And it's not centered. And it's not centered. It's not centered. Yo. And it's running on the... Yo. We increased the render distance. The world is infinite. It lags because it's on the main thread. We would get an increase of speed if we switched it to a separate thread. But it needs to be constantly running the separate thread. Because I cannot start and end a thread so many times, so frequently. Man, let's change it so this is in the center. Yeah, but that's really cool. Do we now the most important question, do we have a memory leak? Do we have a memory leak? What? 40 gigabytes. 40 gigabytes of RAM. 40 gigabytes of RAM. What? 40 let's disable Tracy. Maybe it's because of Tracy, the profiler. Let's assume it's Tracy. Oh, you know what? When it wasn't running properly, we were in release, not in debug. Maybe there was an exception or an error that we have missed. That's also important. But let's keep going with release. I want to see again the memory leak. Holy memory leak. Yeah, let's check back again. Yeah, it's 48 megabytes. Chill, guys. Chill. It's 48 megabytes. No, you saw nothing. You saw nothing. That was... There's no war in Basing Sea. I'm monitoring it right now. I'm looking at it. Most likely there is a memory leak. Even now, after I disable trace, yeah, it continues to increase. It was 50 megabytes, now it's 100 megabytes of RAM. Most likely there is a memory leak. And this needs to be running on a separate thread, and we need to be at the center of the world. But even though we have all of these problems, it's endless. Even though we have all of these problems, the terrain is endless, which was the goal. These problems are easy to solve. The biggest issue was making this endless. The next goal is to make it work on a separate thread so that it doesn't freeze the main thread, and to remove this memory leak, and to also fix this where the trees are like that. Yeah, they just don't update here. Yeah, we have to fix some issues, but the terrain is actually endless. Like, that was the goal. Sure, we have a memory leak. Sure, we have all those other issues, but at least it's endless. That was the goal. Let's increase the render distance. Let's increase it. 3 by 3. Let's comment this out. Let's do 5 by 5. Let's do 5 by 5. Yeah, it freezes. It lags a bit with 5 by 5. But it's endless. And should be unloading. And these meshes are because we don't have simulated distance. We should have some few chunks as a buffer so that these chunks know what the neighboring chunk blocks are. That's why we have them, but they're easy to solve. And here this doesn't redraw. We have few issues. We can increase it even more. Let's do 8 by 8. Yeah, now it lags even more. Look at how it freezes. Yeah, there are some few things that need to be cleaned up, and I can clean them up at some point. I can clean them up at some point. Congrats, let's go, yeah. Holy memory leak. Yeah, that was really funny. Quantum leak. Generate new chunks. All the loading maybe doesn't get deallocated when unloading. Now let me think about it. No, the unloading should free it up. But yeah, I have culling. But maybe the memory leak is because of when we destruct the subchunk in the destructor subchunk here, it's based on a conditional, and maybe I'm not covering all the cases that need to unload the model. Maybe I'm not covering all the cases, and so some of them don't get freed. But no, that should be for the that's handling for the GPU unloading. No. There is still stuff on the CPU in the mesh itself. Here, these vertices, text coordinates, etc. Yeah, but we need to end it because my limit is 3 hours. That's what I've set for a daily stream. I don't want to burn out. I want to stream again tomorrow and the day after that. I want to make videos. 3 hours is my limit. That's it. So thank you guys for joining. Bye, Maskeli. Bye to everyone. We had a good stream today with that memory leak. 40 gigabytes of RAM. Great stream, catched in the end, but loved it. Yeah. Yeah, bye guys.